Clojure is a dialect of the Lisp programming language created by Rich Hickey. Clojure is a general-purpose programming language with an emphasis on functional programming. It runs on the Java Virtual Machine, Common Language Runtime, and JavaScript engines. Like other Lisps, Clojure treats code as data and has a macro system. Clojure's focus on programming with immutable values and explicit progression of time constructs are intended to facilitate the development of more robust programs, particularly multithreaded ones. History. Rich Hickey is the creator of the Clojure programming language, with work experience on scheduling systems, broadcast automation, audio analysis and fingerprinting, database design, yield management, exit poll systems, and machine listening. Before Clojure, he developed .Lisp, a similar project based on the .NET platform. Hickey spent about 2.5 years working on Clojure before publicly releasing it, much of that time working exclusively on Clojure without external funding. At the end of this period, Hickey sent an email announcing the language to some friends in the Common Lisp community. Philosophy. Hickey developed Clojure because he wanted a modern Lisp for functional programming, symbiotic with the established Java platform, and designed for concurrency. Clojure's approach to state is characterized by the concept of identities, which represent it as a series of immutable states over time. Since states are immutable values, any number of workers can operate on them in parallel, and concurrency becomes a question of managing changes from one state to another. For this purpose, Clojure provides several mutable reference types, each having well-defined semantics for the transition between states. Syntax. Like most other Lisps, Clojure's syntax is built on S expressions that are first parsed into data structures by a reader before being compiled. Clojure's reader supports literal syntax for maps, sets and vectors in addition to lists, and these are compiled to the mentioned structures directly. Clojure is a Lisp 1, and is not intended to be code-compatible with other dialects of Lisp. Macros. Clojure's macro system is very similar to that in Common Lisp with the exception that Clojure's version of the backquote qualifies symbols with their namespace. This helps prevent unintended name capture, as binding to namespace-qualified names is forbidden. It is possible to force a capturing macro expansion, but this must be done explicitly. Clojure does not have reader macros, but the reader supports a more constrained form of syntactic extension. Language features. Type Java integration. Clojure applications can be easily packaged and deployed to JVMs and application servers. The included standard library provides macros which make it simple to use existing Java APIs. Likewise, Clojure internals and Clojure code are easily accessible from Java. The community uses LeanEngine for project automation, which integrates with the Maven Java library ecosystem. Dynamic development with a read-eval print loop. Functions as first-class objects. Emphasis on recursion and higher-order functions instead of side-effect-based looping. Lazy sequences. Provides a rich set of immutable, persistent data structures. Concurrent programming through software transactional memory, an agent system, and a dynamic var system. Multi-methods to allow dynamic dispatch on the types and values of any set of arguments. Protocols and data types, which provide a high-performance, dynamic polymorphism construct as an alternative to interfaces, while avoiding the expression problem. Limit of 4 primitive parameters, variants. Variations on the Clojure language have been developed for platforms other than the JVM. Clojure, a full port of Clojure to the Common Language Runtime, interoperable with .NET libraries. Clojure Script, a subset of Clojure, compiled to optimize JavaScript, intended for use in web browsers and mobile devices. Thus 3R, a subset of Clojure that runs on the Actions script virtual machine. Clojure PY, an implementation of Clojure in pure Python. Rouge, an implementation of Clojure on top of YARV in Ruby. CLJ Perl, an implementation of Clojure on top of Perl. Examples: Hello World. Defining a function. GUI Hello World by calling the Java Swing library. A thread-safe generator of unique serial numbers. an anonymous subclass of Java IO writer that doesn't write to anything, and a macro using it to silence all prints within it. 10 threads manipulating one shared data structure, which consists of 100 vectors, each one containing 10 unique numbers. Each thread then repeatedly selects 2 random positions in 2 random vectors and swaps them. All changes to the vectors occur in transactions by making use of Clojure's software transactional memory system. Output of previous example: 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 990 991 992 993 994 995 996 997 998 999, distinct, 1000. 382 318 466 963 619 22 21 273 45 596 808 639 804 471 394 904 952 75 289 778 484 216 622 139 651 592 379 228 242 355, distinct, 1000. See also, List of JVM languages, references. Further reading. External links, official website, GitHub code repository for Clojure, a comprehensive overview of Clojure, an overview of Clojure 1.2 in reference format, full disclosure, screencast, Clojure talks on YouTube, Clojure talks on Blip TV, clojureedx.org, community-powered documentation and examples, clojure-doc.org, community-driven documentation site for the Clojure programming language, 4clojure.com, interactive Clojure problems, try Clojure, an online REPL for Clojure, clojureoninfoc.com, Clojure community and resources on Facebook, our Hickey presentation Are We There Yet?, where he advocates for the re-examination of basic principles like state, identity, value, time, types, genericity, complexity, as they are used by OOP. 2009.